Thank you for listening to Tipsy Takes. I am Joshua.
And I'm Ashley.
And on our show, we try out and review a new bottle of liquor. We then read questions from online and give our best married couple advice from all of our years of experience. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Tipsy Takes.
Hi everyone.
How are you doing tonight?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing great.
You're always great.
I'm always great. Yeah, I just found out at work today that I'm going on schedule next week, so I'll be working 12-hour shifts.
Yay.
It'll be weird to get back to me doing that like I used to a long time ago.
Yeah, it'll be definitely an adjustment.
Yes, definitely. All right, so tonight we have Skyy Infusions Watermelon to try. I'm a huge fan of watermelon. I'm hoping this is delicious.
I'm hoping I don't start to get itchy.
Oh, yeah, because you're allergic to melon.
Yes. So let's see. I mean, it's probably artificial.
Yeah, it's probably artificial.
It says natural flavors, but I don't know how much I trust that.
Yeah, there you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah, this is really good flavor. I like this. It's very watermelon-y.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah. No, it's great.
It's very smooth.
I thought it would be kind of like Midori, but it's not.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well, this is watermelon. Midori is a cantaloupe, also called a rock melon.
Mm.
That's the fruit that it was used for, the melon.
No, it's good.
Yeah, I definitely like this. All right, first story. Am I, female 30, giving up on my marriage too soon? My husband is 29, male. Oh, wow, he's a year younger. It's a little backward. Usually you see the...
That's not a big difference, though.
No, but usually the males are older. I am very desperate for advice. I married my boyfriend of 4 years about 8 months ago. Before that, I didn't realize he had an overbearing and sexist mother. Since we've been married, she gives me advice almost on the daily in what to feed him, how to take care of the house, etc. We live separately, but only a mile away from his parents' house.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very close. Meanwhile, my mom lives 20 minutes away, and your mom lives an hour and 40 minutes away.
Yeah. And
unlike this person, we like our mothers.
Yeah, this seems a little overbearing, but proceed.
I was going to say mother-in-law is actually, because your mom is my mother-in-law, and my mom is your mother-in-law.
What?
That's how it works.
Yeah.
We went for a trip recently. She came to the house and rearranged my kitchen because she felt it hadn't been done right. And I've spoken to my husband a billion times about his mother's interference. After the first few disagreements, he eventually came around and understands where I'm coming from, but he doesn't do anything about it. Instead, he has tried to make me accept that his mom is a certain kind of person and well-intentioned, so I should adjust. The second big issue with our marriage is our sex lives. We started struggling early on in our relationship. Sex started and ended with his needs being fulfilled. I have brought up that my needs need to be fulfilled countless times. We went years having no sex because I stopped feeling turned on at all after a point. COVID and long distance helped us ignore this issue, and we got married. Since being married, we've had sex once. What? He recently helped me orgasm once, only to remark about how long it took and how tired he felt, which left me feeling incredibly guilty, but also incredibly angry. 2 days ago, on the same trip, I saw him stare at other women so much I felt so ugly in my 20 pounds heavier than ideal weight body. My self-esteem is so crushed, I cannot begin to put into words.
Wow.
The third issue is that he puts work before everything. I told him everything I felt on the last day of our trip. I told him I feel like we should separate. He was shocked, scared, and overwhelmed. I know we do love each other a lot, and the love from his side is genuine. Yet a few hours after bringing this up, he chose to go on a work call. His excuse was that this work call had got set up last week. He couldn't cancel last minute. I felt betrayed because why did he set up so many work calls during the first vacation we've ever taken together since getting married in the first place? And if your marriage depends on it and you really care, why can't you cancel the call even if it's last minute? He is my best friend, and I truly love him a lot. Apart from the above 3 issues, the general theme in our marriage is that I have issues, and he is constantly trying to change himself to make this marriage work. I know he wants to. I just don't see the change he talks of making. I am at a loss. I also struggle with PMS, so at least once a month, I am very serious considering getting a divorce. But I am so scared of the regret I might feel. He at least acknowledges and accepts the issues, albeit after some back and forth. I really want to know if I should separate or stay, knowing that staying means accepting most of these things will remain the same. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, once since they got married, they've had sex once.
Yeah, that's...
How long did she say they've been married?
I think...
I just said
4 years?
4 years? They've been together, so 8 months. In 8 months, they've had sex once. That's not a lot at all.
No.
Especially for newlyweds.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
But then again, saying the whole newlywed thing doesn't really make much sense these days, because if you're doing it before you get married, it's not like, oh my gosh, we started on the night of our wedding.
Yeah.
And now we're, doing it together for the first times.
Yeah.
You're just used to it. You just get back into... your regular patterns once your wedding's over.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like when we got married, we had been together for 2.5 years already, 3. 3.5.
We got together in 2014.
Yes.
15, 16, 17. Yeah,
so
3.5.
3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like, but we had been living together already at that point for 2 years, so it wasn't like we were already living like we were married. So it wasn't like the whole newlywed thing just didn't really completely apply to us.
Yeah, but that's not a lot. Like either I listened to a lot of Reddit stories too. I've heard of stories of where turns out that the spouse is gay. And he's just not into women, but he keeps up this facade for his family, probably for his mother. That could be a thing. He just may not be attracted to you because you're a woman.
But he said she said that he was looking at other women on their trip.
Yes, she said that, but maybe
maybe he just settled because maybe he doesn't feel like he...
Or maybe he was looking at her shoes.
I don't know.
We don't have enough information on that. But
thing is an issue too. I kind of feel like if that's something that if it's been communicated with, and maybe like I get you want to have a good relationship, but if you're feeling like you're constantly getting like at a certain point you shouldn't be having to be told what you should be feeding, dressing, doing with your spouse. Like at a certain point, you got to cut the ties.
Got to cut the umbilical cord.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's it's very.
That's a red flag. I can't do that.
Oh, easily, and he's 29.
Yeah, he's a grown adult. So.
Well, I wonder how long ago he moved out of his mom's house. Like, did he recently move out? Like, because they've been together, maybe he moved out when they got married and they got a place.
Maybe.
Which means his mom would be an empty nester of 8 months.
So he's just a really big mama's boy.
Could be.
Okay.
Or if he moved out when he was 18, that could have been 11 years prior. Who knows?
Still, though, I mean, the other issues and, like, not feeling, turned on by your spouse, I mean, that's an issue, too.
That is definitely an issue. If he has... seriously lost interest in you, like, and you say you love each other, but do you really? You say you know for sure that he's in love with you, but do you really know for sure? Is he really? Because he's not acting like it. Yeah. Like, he should be sticking up for his wife over convincing his wife to just go along with what his mother's doing. If my mom were doing something out of line, I would side with you. If she's doing things against you, I would side with you. But because, like, you're my partner and we are here to support each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless you were in the wrong.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. We would talk about it
yeah.
and we would figure out a solution, whether it's like me being overly sensitive or if it was an issue. I mean, luckily we haven't had that issue. But I know that at least if I were to tell you about a problem or how I felt, you would at least accept my feelings and we would find a solution.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We would talk about it beforehand. I think you need to see a counselor. See how it goes. See what the counselor says, what the counselor has you do. If you don't want to go that route, I would split up.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to look at it like, do you really want to spend the rest of your life in this kind of relationship? Like, that's not fair to either one of you.
Yeah, I mean, there is a thing where you can annul marriages. I don't know. It depends on where you live. Some of them are up to 6 months after you get married. But you can annul it if you haven't consummated the marriage. If you haven't had sex since you got married and you've done it once, this doesn't seem like...
Yeah, but still.
Like a lot. I mean, maybe he has issues in the bedroom, but did they say if they were...
That should be addressed.
Did they say they were doing it a lot before?
No.
I didn't. I wonder, like, were you having sex before you got married? Or did you wait until you got married and then you've only done it once?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that could be a thing. And then he's just not into it.
Maybe.
We don't know. We don't have the answer to those questions. So that's my answer. Oh, wait, there's an edit.
Oh.
It says, thank you, everyone. Answering some questions people are asking. I am not working currently, but I am not financially dependent on him. I made more than him until I wasn't working. We lived together in a different city from his folks pre-COVID. I got married because it wasn't so bad then, except the sex. He told his parents about me. His folks spoke to mine. Instantly, a wedding was being planned. I'm Indian. Oh, they have different family.
It's a different culture.
Cultures, yeah, over there.
Yeah.
Than they do here. And while I'd met his parents a few times during COVID, she couldn't be overbearing from 250,000 kilometers away. I am in panic only now because we both want kids, and I am very scared this marriage is not a healthy environment to bring up kids in. We both agreed the other day that we won't discuss kids until we're both physically and mentally in the right place. He is willing to go to therapy, and I'm actively looking for a therapist for the last couple of days. Okay, that's good. That answers that question.
That's good.
I can't say if he'll make changes post that or not. Most people here are right. The precedent is not very positive. I will get a PMDD eval. A what?
PMDD is something only women get. It's premenstrual. It's like PMS. It's like premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Got it. Okay. So that's why she said that thing with the PMS.
Well, yeah, some women get more severe symptoms than others.
Yeah, I was going to say, because pretty much every woman I know during 5 days out of the month is like that.
Well, but that happens before you start menstruating. So usually like the week before, or it could be a few days. Everyone's different.
Because hormones change at that time.
Yes. So you get just different symptoms. And so that's not a bad idea, but I wouldn't blame all of this on that.
Yeah. I don't know how much of this is due to a severe PMS. I agree that my mindset on how to solve this would be very different if I didn't have my own mental health issues. I would give this a good try with therapy just so I know I gave it my all. I want to know if he would improve when given the right tools. If I knew the answer to that, I could have been more decisive, but I generally don't know. Well, that's good. Yeah. That's good you're making those steps, and you will get that taken care of and looked at. So
yeah, it's definitely a good step, and I mean, it definitely at least give it a try, and at least then you can say that you tried.
Exactly. All right, number 2, more watermelon. There you go.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Number 2.
All right, what's next?
Let's look after I finish tasting. I definitely like this.
I do too.
Yeah. Oh no, this one.
And I'm not itchy, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. That must mean it's fake watermelon.
Or it's just not enough to cause a reaction.
Not enough. So it says here on the bottle, it says it's 70 proof, made with all natural flavors.
Mm.
So maybe.
All right, let's continue with another relationship one. My 33 male, wife 32 female, apologizes only if she's objectively wrong. Newly married here, while my wife 32 female and I 33 male have had a pretty easy relationship for the last 5 years, we have hit a few bumps recently since marrying last year. Mostly this has been about miscommunication. We are very different people. I more emotional, her more rational, and it's caused some friction in the way that we resolve conflict. Case in point, my wife has a very hard time apologizing for things. Even in moments where she does apologize, even proactively, she quickly backtracks if I express any emotion or hurt. She will then say she is sorry I feel badly, but that she is not an appropriate target for my emotions because she did not do anything objectively wrong. When I've asked her what she means by objectively wrong, she says that she screwed up. I try to redirect her into understanding that this is not about right or wrong, but about feelings. But she comes back to saying that it's not fair for me to chastise her about something she did that wasn't objectively wrong. This makes me feel very devalued and like she is dismissing my feelings unless she thinks that her own actions violated some objective standard of conduct. It's very frustrating, and I truly don't know how to express myself without triggering this conversation. We have a generally good relationship, but this issue makes me concerned when life gets inevitably harder. Too long didn't read. Wife only apologizes when she believes she has done something objectively wrong, regardless of my feelings, which dismisses my feelings. What do I do?
Well, I don't think we have a lot of specifics, like the things that they, like, examples of things that they would talk about. He says he gets very emotional to things, and she doesn't, and she can't handle his emotions in response to things. But, I mean, if you're wrong, and then you apologize if you're wrong. It doesn't matter if it's objectively wrong or not, but
yeah,
if she feels like that, it's a kind of a narcissistic thing to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree. I mean, again, like you said, I think it's kind of hard to make like there's not a whole lot of facts, like, or not a lot of there's no situation, like there's no examples of what is happening. But I kind of feel like if she knows that you're not feeling validated, then I think that's an issue. Whether you're right or wrong, or, I mean, if you have these emotions, I think that should be validated. You shouldn't feel like, you're being too emotional, I guess. I would say, because, I mean, I'm more emotional than you are.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I only have happy emotions.
Yeah. I have, all the emotions, and so...
I have been sad. I mean, it's not like I only
happy. 3 times. 4.
Yeah, but we've only been together for 9 years, so...
You're funny. Now, I don't know. I kind of feel like, obviously, she shouldn't be apologizing for something that she didn't do, but I think she should be understanding that if there's something she's doing or saying that is causing him to feel a certain way, then maybe she needs to evaluate that if it's, like, a constant thing. Again, I don't know, is this like an everyday thing? Like, I don't know what the situation is, so it's a little hard to give.
Well, and I'm wondering if, like, she's the dominant one in the relationship.
Oh, maybe.
Which could be, like, she's a stronger person than he is. So...
Could be.
But still, if you're wrong, you're wrong. It doesn't matter if it's objectively wrong or not.
Yeah. You should still be able to be open about your feelings with your partner.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what this means? They should talk to a counselor. See a therapist. Have them run through some situations with you, scenarios, and then talk about things. You can go over things that you've already discussed, that you've gone through together, and see what the therapist has to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, like, depending on obviously the situation, I just feel like if now it's like I don't know what's going to happen if there's like a serious problem. Like, how is anything going to be taken care of properly, So I think talking to a therapist, or just really like figuring out if this is the right relationship for you guys.
Exactly. All right, before we go on to the next story, here's a word from our sponsor.
Stories that need to be told, crafted especially for you by award-winning performers, writers, and designers. Original full-cast audio dramas featuring remarkable characters played by actors you know and love. And incredible tales waiting to come to life in the theater of your mind. Will you join us?
We don't need them all to survive.
What are you gonna do to me?
Today must be my lucky day.
First blood! First blood! I did it! I did it!
Guys, turn around.
Now you're gonna burn.
There's someone trying to turn us against each other.
I'm like you, sent to this world against my will. Only I still remember everything that happened.
Unfortunately for you, I don't suffer fools gladly.
Heads up, everyone.
I wouldn't if I were you.
What makes you think I'll trust anything you say? How do you know about my dual identity?
You better keep an eye on your daughter. You'll never touch her, you freak.
Time to go old school.
All great stories begin with adventurous ideas.
Go to www.adventurousIdeas.com or visit youtube.com/@adventurousIdeas for previews and details.
All right, that's exciting. Adventurous Ideas is a great production company. I'm actually a production coordinator with them, and I get stuff coordinated and in line and talk to everybody about everything to make sure things are running smoothly and in order and who's doing what. I'm also a voice actor for them, so I voice some characters and I'm put things up on IMDb and blah, 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 blah. Great company, and I love them. It's great. All right, it's time for number 3. Here you go.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is really good. I might have to get another bottle of this once
Yeah.
we run out.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah. I wonder what it would taste like if it was mixed with something.
What would you mix it with?
I don't... Things.
Like?
What would you mix watermelon with?
I mean, I would probably just mix it with like some sparkling water or like,
Ew.
or soda water with lime. I mean, because it's got a good flavor. You don't really want to...
What if you mix it in lemonade?
Oh, you could do that.
Watermelon lemonade? I'm going to try that.
All right.
I'm going to try that. I think I have lemonade in the refrigerator.
All right, there you go.
There you go. All right, story number 3. And it looks like this one has like a little workout aspect to it, so I'll let you read this one.
Am I the stupid head for yelling at my wife because she used our conjoined savings to buy a yoga studio? Oh boy, this is going to be good. Love it. All right. Me, female 32, and my wife, Barbara, female 34, have been married for 9 years, and together we have a son, Casper, male 7. When my wife and I decided to get married, we also made the decision to make a conjoined savings account for if we ended up in an emergency. That's smart.
Yeah.
Over the years, we've saved up a pretty big amount of money, which I really appreciate since I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to financial stuff. So a couple of years ago, my wife started attending a yoga class regularly, and recently she has started making some comments about wanting to teach yoga. I assumed she meant as a hobby, and therefore I made sure to be supportive whenever she would talk about it. Fast forward to today, when I am on our online bank about to transfer some money to our savings account and see that over 2/3 of the money has disappeared.
What?
I am of course confused and ask my wife about it as soon as she gets home. That's when she tells me that she has used all this money to buy a yoga studio, fully furnished with mats and all. I start yelling at my wife, asking her why she would use our conjoined savings for this irresponsible purchase. She then tells me she used our savings because she has quit her job to become a full-time yoga instructor and therefore she didn't have enough money herself. I started screaming and yelling, calling her irresponsible. She then says that I am the stupid head for yelling at her instead of talking it through like an adult. Ugh. We had to stop the argument because our son came home and we don't want to argue in front of him. Right now, my wife is upstairs putting our son to bed and we will continue our conversation when he's asleep. But now I need to know, am I the stupid head?
Sorry for any mistakes. English is not my first language.
Oh, that was fine.
Well, I'm wondering.
I have thoughts.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say that no, the OP is not the stupid head. No. I would be extremely upset about this too. Those kind of things should be discussed before doing. You don't just make like a big transaction like that, or remove that kind of money. And especially purchasing property, you don't do that without your spouse.
Oh no, there's like liabilities and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's like that's a big deal. Like that's a lot of money to be just like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna take this out of my account and not say anything. Like there's like discussion and planning involved. You don't just do that on a whim. That's stupid.
I mean, like we have an emergency savings account, but I would never use it for anything without talking to you first. I mean, we have our rule. If it's over $100, we talk to each other first to, explain whatever, or we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Unless like, oh, my car was in the shop and then I go get it and I pay for it and come home like, oh yeah, it was $450.
Well, yeah, that's different.
That's different because we knew there was a repair going on.
And that like has to be done.
Yeah, you don't just randomly buy things. But like,
it's not like, oh hey, I went out and bought a dog. Like you come home with a puppy, that's a big deal.
Yeah, well, puppies
buying a new car,
a lifelong commitment.
Oh yeah, puppy. But like I wouldn't go out and just like buy a new car without telling you.
Oh no,
like we would discuss it first and then like talk about options and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now she says English is not her first language, so I'm wondering what country she's in. And her wife, they're lesbians because they're both women, but like is being married to some of the same gender in your country legal? Here it's legal, so you would be bound together legally with your money.
Yeah.
So I had a situation with an ex-wife where she co-signed for a truck for her brother, and after it happened, I found out, and she didn't co-sign. She signed. Her brother co-signed. I tried calling the dealership. I tried calling the bank, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing? You can't just have this person sign for a thing when they're not making enough money to sign for it." And they said, "Oh, we can't talk to you about it because your name's not on it." That was the answer from both the dealership and the bank. Oh. So I'm like, okay, this is dumb. And then years down the road, I end up having to file bankruptcy after the divorce. And guess what was on my bankruptcy? That truck.
Of course.
And it's because we're married. And when you're married, your social security numbers are connected together. So when you purchase things or you're in debt or you get loans, that's all connected together legally. So I just was curious because if it's not legal in your country, then you're just saying she's your wife because you've been together for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But you're not legally connected together, so you could just go your separate ways. You could legally sue her for taking your money. Maybe it just depends on what your rules are in your country.
Yeah.
For whatever you're doing. Not that you're going to sue her because you guys are in a relationship, but
still
to have to deal with it, and you have a son in the mix too, so you have a kid. That's just a tough situation to be in when you have an irresponsible partner.
Yeah. And I do think it's shocking, too, because they've been together for so long. But my thing, too, is I'm also curious, and I know obviously it's different in different countries, but teaching yoga, is she qualified to teach yoga? Because having something as like a hobby and having something as a career are completely different.
Do you have to be certified to teach yoga?
You should be.
I know, but are you required to in our country? Do you know?
A lot of places require you to have education, to have a certification. Like the company that I'm certified through.
Yeah.
They have a yoga instructor certification.
Okay.
That you can take. I just will not be doing that. Yoga is not my jam.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if it was like, can you be a personal trainer and work at gyms and stuff as a personal trainer without certifications?
Not at good gyms, no. you're
not at good gyms.
Well, there's a strong debate in the community because obviously you can learn a lot just from doing something, and if you're knowledgeable, I mean, you could even, especially too, if you've gone to college for like kinesiology or a field like that, you probably have a lot of background and you know what you're doing. You don't necessarily need one. There is something to say for experience, but most gyms will require you to become certified.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, like, has she studied? Because you can end up hurting somebody. Also, too, running a business. Like, do you know how to run a gym? Like, what was her background before? Like, what kind of job did she quit in order to run a yoga studio?
Yeah.
It's just like everyone is like, oh, yeah, no, I want to run a restaurant. But they've never worked in one. So they have no idea all the ins and outs of running a restaurant, like the operations wise. They think it's going to be like a piece of cake. But like there's so much that goes on that you have no idea about.
If you wanted to open your own personal training facility, what would you have to do?
Oh, I would take some business classes or something.
You have to take business. You'd have to find a place.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot. I mean, being in charge of employees and making sure that
insurance,
making sure there's like sanitation and having all of the licensing and
electricity,
water,
garbage,
the equipment,
rent.
I mean, all of that. But it's just like making sure that operations are being ran. Like that's not just something the average person like would just know how to do right off the bat. Like you'd have to have some kind of experience, I would think.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I bought this thing and I'm just gonna figure it out. I mean, you can do it that way, but you can't expect to be making a good amount of money. I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Oh yeah, easy. I just think it was a very poor decision for her to spend your money from your joint account without talking to you first.
Oh, I completely agree. No, I'd be livid.
Yeah, I would be too.
Don't worry, I won't do it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, I don't know, because like it's just communication. She just did something dumb. But it doesn't seem like you have problems in your relationship, so maybe you need to talk to a financial planner.
Yeah, I feel like depending on there obviously has to be a conversation involved, and whether or not you're going to be like, well, maybe it's not too late to like change your mind on the property, or if it's something you want to give a go.
Like get out of the contract?
Yeah, like maybe you have like a grace period so that maybe you can just like back out of it, or if it's something you're going to have to give a try and see how it goes and try to sell it. I don't know. Or maybe it'll work out. I don't know. But that obviously, like the bigger point is making sure that you guys communicate on big purchases like that, because that's not okay.
Yeah. I would also not have a joint account with her anymore. Go open up another account, put your money in it, and don't give her access to it, because she's already proven to you that she can no longer be responsible with access to your money.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of harsh, but yeah. I mean, it makes sense because it's like that trust has kind of been broken.
Yeah. All right. Last story. Here you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah. That's very good.
Still good. Not itchy.
Still good.
My throat is not feeling like it wants to close, so we're good.
70 proof Skyy melon. Skyy watermelon. The Skyy melon. They should make a melon that comes from the sky.
Okay.
But they harvest it by them falling, and you have to dodge them. Oh, wait, those are coconuts.
Like coconut? I can't with you.
That's funny. All right, last story.
All right.
Am I being unreasonable? Basically, my 22 female girlfriend, 27 female, another set of girls, decides to ignore me when she's in a bad mood or when she's tired. We're in a long-distance relationship, so mostly chat. While we're having a totally normal conversation, sometimes she disappears and doesn't text me back for an hour or over. Interesting.
Well, maybe she's busy.
Yeah, maybe. Sure. On chat with other people.
Oh, boy.
I hate when she does that, and I told her not to do that because it gives me anxiety. I always think I did something wrong, even if it's possible because we are speaking about dogs or a book or reading. I said to her that if she doesn't want to chat with me because she's in a bad mood, has a headache, or whatever, it's obviously not a problem for me. I just want to be informed.
Okay.
So as the title says, am I being unreasonable for wanting my girlfriend to inform me when she doesn't want to chat with me while we're having normal conversation? By the way, English is not my first language. Sorry for any mistakes. That is fine. I just re-recorded my reading as I went through the mistakes and then re-recorded them corrected. Edit. She knows that not texting me back for over an hour is something that just gives me a lot of anxiety. And I told her to just text me, I'm doing this or that. I'll text you later. She could write me the next day and that would be okay. And of course, it's not a problem for me. I just need to be informed. We can't always be together. I understand that. So yeah, reading the comments, I see that I'm being unreasonable. I don't know if I have to tell her something like, yeah, I'm changed. Don't bother to inform me when you're in a bad mood. Or just change my mind. Wait for the next time that this will happen and be okay with this. Thank you all for your comments.
Okay.
All right, well, so your girlfriend is 5 years older than you. It feels like this person's in high school.
A little bit. I kind of got that vibe too.
Like they're young.
Yeah.
But they say they're 22.
And 27.
And 27.
That just seems very...
That seems like they're acting... Their relationship is young, but they're not. They're in their 20s. Yeah. Which is when people get married and have kids and buy houses. 22 is what?
Young.
It is young. I mean, I was married when I was 22, but still 22 is young for most people nowadays. Nowadays 22 is young.
I agree.
You know, I'm I was born in the 70s, so okay, fine.
Barely.
79. Okay, it was the
end of 79.
The last couple weeks of 79. But still, the new 22 is on a different level than the 22 of, let's say, 2002. When I was 22.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's different now. We have like internet and computers and stuff like that.
I agree.
So it seems like she's just living her life and isn't like making you the priority, which may not be the issue. Like she may just not be all that into you to want you to make you the center of her universe.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand too. I think it's hard for people who don't have anxiety to understand what anxiety is like, and especially in a long distance relationship. And we don't know like how far apart are you, but I'm assuming then if you don't see each other very often, like you don't really know when you're in a long distance relationship if you don't know what they're doing. You don't really know their day to day because you're far apart, and so you have to trust that they have your best intentions at heart, you know, but you really truly don't know. And so especially for, you know, if you have anxiety, I mean, that honestly just makes it worse. Yeah. I feel like, because you don't know. And so I get wanting to be like, hey, like if you don't want to talk, like that's fine, we all have bad days, like just say, hey, today's not a good day, or like right now is not a good time to talk, I just need some time alone.
Yeah, well, like if you text me and I'm at work and I don't text you back for, let's say, a couple of hours, because I can be in the middle of stuff and I'm like... Oh,
yeah, that's happened.
Yeah, it's happened quite a few times. You'll be at the grocery store and you're like, hey, what kind of sliced meat did you want? And then I'll text you back 2 hours later, ham. And you'll be like, I'm already at home and the groceries are unpacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I'm busy at work.
Yeah, which I understand.
Yeah, and going a couple hours, you know, without texting back, especially if you're at work or even if you're at home. Like, I've been at home before and just for some reason I went out to get a snack or something and my phone on the desk and I just didn't know, and I came back in.
Away. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that does happen. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's home. And she texted me 2 hours ago asking a question or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see it. Like, that does happen.
Sure.
But for the most part, you and I text each other back pretty quickly.
Yeah, but I think it just depends. And like, I know I have moments like, yeah, I just think with that, like if I'm having an off day or like I'm feeling like, you know, I will let you know, like obviously I'll still respond to you, but like there might be for some people like, hey, like I'm not in a place like I don't feel like talking, so maybe I'll just send a message there like, hey, like I need a day just to kind of like decompress and recharge my social batteries, so today's just not good.
What was it like when we were dating? Like, how often did we text each other while we were dating? I don't really remember.
I feel like we texted a lot, but I mean, we're both, busy, but yeah, I mean, we talked, we texted all throughout the day.
Yeah, because I was working full time at the animal shelter, and you were working at
I was working at the restaurant. So yeah, I was busy, but like we would talk back and forth, and obviously you understood that if I didn't get back to you right away is because I was having a busy shift and I couldn't get on my phone. And I knew too, like if you were busy, you couldn't get on yours, and so we understood that fact. But
oh yeah,
I think it's just hard again when like you're long distance. Like I've never done a long distance relationship, so I don't really know how that works, but I feel like it just gets hard because you don't really know what that other person is doing. And so I can kind of understand, especially again, when you have anxiety and that's something that you fear.
Yeah.
You're wondering if they are like doing what they say that they're doing. And so it kind of creates this like, it just creates more anxiety.
Are you saying they don't trust
maybe
their girlfriend?
Because they feel like if you're not responding to me or not letting you know, like, that they're not able to talk, that they're off doing something that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
So they might just have trust issues in that aspect. And that anxiety will make it worse because you're going to think worst case scenario first.
Yeah. I just think that, because I know anxiety is a thing, because you have it.
I do.
So, like, I can kind of not sympathize, but understand what this person's going through because you deal with the same stuff.
Yeah.
Not with me texting you back or anything, but like
other situations, yeah.
Yeah, other situations. So I can understand where that's coming from. So it's not something that the person can really fix by themselves.
No.
She would just need to understand that you could give people a couple hours more to respond to you because people do have lives.
Yeah. Or if you like, here, my thing is like, your girlfriend needs to understand the reasons why you need that communication.
Yeah.
Like why you need to know. It's not that you don't, if it's not like a whole trust issue, but like just, I would feel better knowing just like I want to make sure that you're okay. Like it makes me feel more comfortable like knowing that, oh, you're just like you have a headache, you just don't want to talk right now. That's okay. Or you're just gonna be busy for a little bit, and so that way my mind doesn't go to like the worst possible scenario.
Yeah. Well, so I was in a long distance once, but it was before, I don't want to sound old, but it was before texting was invented.
Oh my God, you're so old.
So we were pen pals.
Oh wow, you're so old.
We used to write each other letters, and to me, it just didn't work because we were so far apart and never saw each other other than the time that we met. Like, it just wasn't working out. I think texting may have been a thing. I don't remember it. I remember we used to call each other. So texting may not have been a thing yet. Okay. If it was a thing, it was on a Nokia phone, which would mean you'd have to press letters multiple times just to text something out.
I remember those
and you
days.
had to pay per text. So, but that was the only long distance relationship I can think of that I was in, because most of the time it's like I want to be near the person I'm dating so we can go do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a huge movie goer, so going to the movies once a week was a thing for me. Now it's not as frequent, but still at least twice a month. Going on excursions,
just
stuff
doing
like that,
things, spending time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's just it's more difficult having long distance.
Yeah, and it also, if you think about it, like, what did people with anxiety back then used to do? Without instant responses to things via text message.
I almost feel like it got worse because we have instant gratification.
Because
you didn't have to think about it. You know, because you knew that they didn't have access to like something that was instant. Like if there was a phone, it was a home phone. So if you couldn't get a hold of them, they weren't home.
Yeah, and you had to wait.
Yeah,
you left a message on their home answering machine with a cassette in it.
Yeah, but now like we all carry phones on us 24/7, and so it's like you expect to have instant access to everybody, and so you assume that they have that on them, so you expect to have an immediate response.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that even with, movies, as I said a second ago.
Yeah.
You see a movie in the theater, it's there for 4 weeks, and then within a matter of a month or two, it's on DVD.
Yeah.
Or
it's
streaming.
way faster than it used to be.
Or streaming. Like, I think Little Mermaid's either coming out right now, or it's coming out soon, and it's still in some theaters. And it just came out less than 2 months ago.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, like, that's like instant. That's like super fast because you can put something up streaming tomorrow.
Yeah.
Versus DVDs or Blu-rays, which have to be produced.
Yeah.
Or even VHS tapes.
Wow.
VHS. Movies you had to wait 6 to 8 months to come out
so
after they were in the theater.
I feel like we had so much more patience back then.
We did. But there were a lot fewer movies.
Yeah.
So they say nowadays there's so much new content created via movies or TV shows that if you were to watch TV 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without breaking, taking commercial breaks or anything, you couldn't even watch it all.
Yeah. Wow.
That's why a lot of people who talk to each other, like coworkers and stuff, hey, have you seen this show? No, they haven't. Because there's 50 other shows to choose from. Whereas back in the 90s, you'd be like, hey, have you seen Friends? Oh, yeah, of course. I love that show. Have you seen Seinfeld? Have you seen Full House? Have you seen these other shows that are on in the 90s? There just wasn't as many there are today.
Yeah.
So the chances of you seeing it, they were greater back then than they are now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So back on topic. That's my ADHD just spreading the conversation out.
Little rabbit trail for you.
Little rabbit trail. And no, I think if you can't handle being in a relationship that's long distance with somebody who's 5 years older than you because they're not responding within an hour, that you should probably break up and find somebody who's next to you who you can see all of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree, especially with the anxiety. Like, that's just not healthy to keep doing. I feel like, first you have a conversation and just say, hey, this is the reason why I kind of need to know, just because it would help me. But I think, too, you should be able to go a little bit of time without hearing from them and not think the worst. Like, if you're constantly having that trust issue, it would be better off for you to have somebody that was closer to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, and also, even if you're with somebody who's here now and you see them at home every night, doesn't mean they're going to be texting you back right away during the day.
Yeah, you need to understand.
If you have anxiety like that, you do have to kind of work on it yourself. I know anxiety is a thing that people can have. You do need to work on it. You need to understand that things happen in life. But if it's not somebody you can trust, then it's not something you can work on, because your anxiety of not trusting the person to get back to you or to not be talking to someone else or whatever is what's getting in the way.
Yeah.
So it's something you have to work on. Like, you have worked on your anxiety with other things, coming to an understanding that you have no control with what's going on tomorrow with things that are planned.
Yeah.
That's usually when you have it, right? Is when something's happening tomorrow and you've never done the thing before.
Mine is, more fear of the unknown.
Exactly. So If it was like, tomorrow we're going to church, no anxiety.
No big deal.
No big deal. We've done it before. Maybe it was the first time. Sure. But tomorrow, okay, so tomorrow we're going to meet at a restaurant, all of my new coworkers.
Yeah, that'd be a little different. I mean, a little bit. It would cause a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, because you've never met any of them. You want to make a good impression.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are going to be like. You don't know any of the people there.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing for you.
It is. I mean, I'm also very introverted, so yes, that would be a big
also introverted.
Driven, yeah.
Yeah. So, I would, if you can't handle this adult relationship, being long distanced and not waiting an hour for them to get back to you. Oh, okay, here we go. Top comment. Leaving a text unanswered for an hour isn't ghosting. You need to be able to go 1 hour without attention from your significant other, especially in a long-distance relationship. think about if this is the kind of relationship you can handle, or if you may be too clingy to do long distance. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need to have more of one-on-one, face-to-face, then don't do long distance.
Yeah. No, it's not for you.
You're young. Like, I've been married 3 times now. This is my final wife right here next to me. And I am 43 now. But when I was 22, I was married to my first wife.
Yeah.
And you can find other people. There's other people out there for you.
That's true.
It is true. So I would, if you can't handle this, move on. End the relationship. Find somebody who's near you. Just especially for your mental health, because having all of this anxiety and stress isn't good for you.
Exactly.
So I would just end it. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's too serious if it's that long of a distance and you can't handle an hour to be able to get like a therapist to work with. I would just break it off because the long distance isn't working out. So
yeah, no, I agree.
So, all right. Hey, what'd you think about our Skyy vodka tonight? Watermelon.
I thought it was really good. I didn't have a reaction to it, so that I'm very happy about. And I thought it was good. You can drink it on its own. I feel like you can mix it with things if you wanted to, but it's very smooth. I thought it had a good flavor.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it with lemonade. See how that goes. Thank you, Skyy, for making this watermelon vodka. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you for listening to us. And where can people find you if they want to follow you specifically with your fitness and stuff?
You can find me on Instagram under Ashley_Schaefer_fitness, or on Facebook, I'm Ashley Schaefer. Or if you want to find my Facebook group where we talk all things health and fitness, it's Let's Talk Fitness with Ashley.
It is. I think the best way to find her is to go to her Instagram and click the link, because that goes to her link tree. And
you can find all the things.
Yeah, it has links to all of her stuff. If you need to know more about me or follow all the stuff that I do, you can go to DisneyGuy.org. Because I'm a Disney historian and I've written several books about Disneyland. I'm currently writing 3 right now. I actually have a podcast after this that I'm on called Walt's Apartment Podcast, where we talk about all things Disney. And I have a section on there, about Disney fun facts. So, yeah, check us out. I put the links in the description also for this podcast. And, hey, everybody, have a great week or weekend, depending on when you listen to this. Bye.
Bye.